What do you want? What do you want, Shenlang? Just let me die quickly. Shenlang smiled wickedly. Of course, I will make you happy. I guarantee it will be extremely refreshing. 5-horse dismemberment is outdated. Now it must be 6-horse dismemberment. How do you feel? Su Jianyan was utterly terrified and pleaded. Shenlang, let me die with my body intact. Please, Shenlang replied. Last night, when you laid hands on 5-year-old Zhang Yan, this outcome was already sealed for you. A beast like you. The ancients had 5-horse dismemberment. Now you will have 6 horses. Su Jianyan, you go first. The people of the Su clan will soon follow you to hell. Let's begin. After speaking, Shenlang turned away coldly. Immediately after, 7 horrifying screams echoed. In an instant, Su Jinyan's body was pulled into many pieces. Just thinking about it is gruesome. The scene shifts to Zhang Sung. He was just dimly waking up when he saw Zhang Yan beside him constantly calling out, "Grandpa, you're awake." Seeing his grandson safe and sound, Zhang Sung smiled faintly and thought, "We won? Shenlang actually did it? Whether as an enemy or an ally. Everything he said he could do, he did." Shenlang spoke up. "Lord Zhang is finally awake. Eldest princess, could you step outside first?" Immediately after, Ning Jie led Zhang Yan outside to give Shenlang and his lover some privacy. Zhang Sung was seriously injured. Ning Jie intended to extract some information from Shenlang, but since she couldn't sleep with him, there was nothing to say. Chengde, after learning that the Su clan's main army that attacked White Knight City had been utterly defeated, had to lead his army to attack Shuelyang City, forcing Su Qian to lead the remnants of his troops and flee. As for Su Jianyan, because he dared to lead people to attack the Jin clan earlier, his punishment was the 6-horse dismemberment. Right now, Shenlang called everyone outside so he and Zhang Sung could talk privately. Zhang Sung asked young Master Shun, "What are your plans next?" Shenlang smiled casually and said, "Destroy the crown prince, destroy the 3 princes." Zhang Shun, who was boiling medicine behind them, was startled upon hearing this. He thought, "Should I go outside too?" But young Master Shun is too formidable. He's truly angry at heaven, angry at the earth, angry at the very air. First, he fought against the Tang clan in Xuanwu City, fighting his own father. After total victory, he returned to the capital to fight the Su clan. Now the Su clan isn't even dead yet, and he's already preparing to destroy the crown prince and the 3 princes. Shenlang smiled wickedly. After destroying the crown prince and the 3 princes, my Jin clan can finally be stable in the long term. Then I will rest, hugging my precious Mulan and living a life like an immortal. Zhang Sung was speechless and thought, "Is it okay for you to tell me all this? I'm considered part of the Crown Prince's faction." Then he spoke up. Although His Highness the Crown Prince has flaws, he can still be considered a capable young lord. Letting him ascend to the throne would also be beneficial for the overall situation of your state. Shenlang replied, "I admit what you say makes sense, but Lord Zhang, he also wanted to steal my wife. Anyone in this world who has designs on my Mulan, I will kill them all. I only told you this because he is His Highness the Crown Prince. Otherwise, the bodies of his entire family would have been torn to shreds." Zhang Shun was shocked upon hearing this and thought, "You dare to speak the truth like that?" Zhang Sung said, "His Highness the Crown Prince's thoughts are indeed incorrect, but after the battle with Su Nan, perhaps he will abandon unrealistic ideas. After all, the king also likes you very much. Coupled with the relationship between you and Princess Ningyan, perhaps in the future, you will become His Majesty's son-in-law." Shenlang said, "Lord Zhang, the Crown Prince has already acted. He dared to send Ku Tuan to assassinate my father-in-law." Zhang Sung exclaimed in horror. "Ku Tuan is the Crown Prince's man?" Shenlang replied, "Exactly." Zhang Sung suddenly fell back onto the bed, clutching his head and thinking, "This conflict is irreparable. There will likely be no peace until one side is annihilated. I am part of the Crown Prince's faction, aligned with the Zhu clan. This mark cannot be changed, but I absolutely do not want to be enemies with Shenlang." Shenlang gave a cunning smile and said, "Lord Zhang, you have made a great contribution this time. His Majesty will surely appoint you as the middle governor of Tianqi province." Then he thought, if he accepts this position of middle governor, the mark of the Crown Prince's faction on him will only become darker. He wants to remain neutral? Impossible. Zhang Sung sighed and said, didn't the Marquis of Bishao want me to go to Yenzhou to accept the position of lower governor? I'll just go to Yenzhou. Shenlang said. Yenzhou is just a special province after all. It only has 3 prefectures, and its area isn't even half of Tianqi provinces. Furthermore, the official rank is lower. Zhang Sung replied, at least I don't have to oppose young Master Shen. But then, I would also become a traitor to the Crown Prince's faction. Suddenly someone reported, Prefect, the middle governor of Tianqi province, Lord Liang, has arrived. The two looked at each other with thoughtful expressions and thought, this person has come at the right time. Immediately after, Zhang Sung quickly said, quickly help me up so I can pay my respects to Governor Liang. This fellow is the middle governor of Tianqi province, Liang Yongyan. He spoke up, I wouldn't dare, absolutely not. Lord Zhang is a meritorious official and is still seriously injured. How could you get out of bed? This person has a good background. His father was a trusted confidant of Ning Yuanxian. After Ning Yuanxian ascended the throne, the Liang clan was also in theft as counts. Not only does he have noble origins, but he is also a double first scholar, accomplished in both civil and military arts. But the king granted him 3 imperial edicts, ordering him to repeatedly judge the Su clan. He, however, 3 times used the excuse of a critical illness and refused to impeach the Su clan. Other than getting angry and issuing some formal proclamations, he did nothing. Shenlang thought, this person has always been someone from the Su faction. He even stood at the forefront of the Su faction. Although he remained silent after Su Nan rebelled, he still hoped the Su faction would win. If the Su faction won, he could be granted a marquisate. But if the king wins, he's in trouble. Because Shenlang's actions this time have not only cured Liang Yongyan's critical illness, but also led him to bring 4,000 soldiers here. Liang Yongyan thought, this time, Shenlang helped Zhang Sung defeat the main forces of the Su clan's coalition. I cannot just wait here to be slaughtered. Although in his heart, he hated Shenlang and Zhang Sung to death, on the surface, he still acted intimately. Liang Yongyan approached the bedside and said solicitously, Lord Zhang, don't get up. Illnesses come like a mountain landslide. This governor understands this best. For the past half year, it seems I've already stepped 1 foot into the gates of hell. Lord Zhang, why is it like this? A few years ago when I met you in the capital, you were still very healthy. Shenlang listened to those words and felt disgusted. He thought, all right, that's enough. A few years ago, Liang Yongyan, you were already the middle governor of Tianqi province, while Zhang Sung was just a 5th-rank censorate official. You wouldn't even bother to glance at him. Suddenly, he turned and said, is this the young Master Shen? Shenlang smirked and replied, yes, that's me. What about it? Seeing this, Liang Yongyan could only force a smile, but in his heart, he was furious. He thought, he's just a city lord. I didn't even have the qualifications to stand before a middle governor back then. Now, not only is he sitting there irritating me, but he won't even get up to bow. This scoundrel Shenlang is truly a wretch. Fortunately, Zhang Sung was still sensible. Then Zhang Sung said, hearing that Su Nan rebelled, I was extremely shocked. I immediately donned my armor and prepared to gather the army to quell the rebellion and aid Lord Zhang. It's all due to this useless body of mine. I couldn't even stand properly and nearly died in bed. Now that my body is a little better, I immediately led 4,000 troops here to quell the rebellion. Zhang Sung cupped his hands and said, Governor, your loyalty is commendable. Zhang Sung alone cannot bear this responsibility. Since the governor has arrived, I must trouble you, Governor, with the defense of White Knight Commandery City. Liang Yongyan said solicitously, I wouldn't dare. There's a specialization for every task. Lord Zhang is a renowned general. The defense of White Knight Commandery City must, of course, be entrusted to you. The 5,000 troops I brought are all at Lord Zhang's disposal. I will only observe and not command. Shenlang thought, 5,000 troops? Don't boast anymore. Even if you brought all the Yamen runners here, there wouldn't be 5,000, let alone troops. Suddenly there was another report from outside. Earl of Pacifying the West, Chengde, has arrived. As soon as he stepped inside, Chengde showed a pained expression and said, Lord Zhang, how could you be in such a state? Zhang Sung replied, yes, I'm fine. Suddenly, Chengde turned to Xinlang, patted him hard on the shoulder, and said with a laugh, "Kid, you fought this battle well. You didn't lose face for the Marquis of Xuanwu." Xinlang clutched his aching shoulder, feeling bitter, and thought, "That damn Chengde. I will kill you. Who are you pretending to be heroic for? Who are you pretending to be a capable senior for?" Immediately after, the two actors turned to greet each other. "Governor Liang, you're here too? My respects, my respects." Then Chengde sat down and said, "I just fought a battle. I personally led 16,000 troops and pursued Su Qian for several hundred miles, forcing him to abandon his armor. Now, the number of soldiers who have returned to the Jinyuan Marquis is at most no more than 3,000. Xinlang thought, "Another fellow boasting. And he's showing off his achievements." Chengde turned and asked Governor Liang, "How many people did you bring?" Yang Yongnian replied, 5,000 men. Chengde continued, "If so, we have 30,000 men." This time, Sunan's main army was utterly defeated, probably less than 5,000 remain. But the stronghold of the Jinyuan Marquis is extremely sturdy and very difficult to attack. How should we proceed with the attack? Let everyone discuss. Zhang Sung spoke up. "Earl of Pacifying the West is a military man. You speak first." Chengde said solemnly, "Although Sunan's main forces have been annihilated, the leader is still there. The final battle is very important. A snake must have a head. Therefore, I think we need to select a commander-in-chief." Xinlang was bewildered and thought, "This Chengde is so arrogant and overbearing? Before this, you secretly defied the king's will, acted according to the Su clan's wishes, and saw Zhang Sung nearly die without helping him, almost causing the situation in your state to fall into a stalemate. To get through that crisis, you should have begged Zhang Sung and me for help. I can't believe you want to seize power, snatching the position of commander-in-chief and the authority of the coalition. As expected, you're just for show. When fighting, you're like a turtle retracting its head, but when claiming credit, you're incredibly eager." Yang Yongnian said, Right. If the name is not right, the words will not be smooth. The battle to destroy Sunan is important. We need to select a commander-in-chief." Chengde turned and said, "Lord Liang is the middle governor of Tianxi province, the highest-ranking official here, and his title is also high. I propose that Governor Liang be the commander-in-chief of the coalition." Yang Yongnian said, No, I cannot. I am a civil official and have never fought a battle. How can I be the commander-in-chief? I propose to choose Earl Chengde. You have experienced 100 battles, a renowned general in your lifetime. Moreover, your position is high, and you have many subordinates. This position of commander-in-chief must be yours." Xinlang, watching the show, could only laugh, thinking, these two are playing along. They want to seize power? Huh? Yang Yongnian continued, "Prefect Zhang Sung, City Lord Xinlang, both of you also have the right to speak. Great General Chengde is knowledgeable in military affairs. This position of commander-in-chief, if not him, it cannot be, right?" Suddenly, Xinlang said, "I don't think so." Yang Yongnian was greatly shocked and thought, in officialdom, can they be so disrespectful to each other? Is this really okay? Chengde, though angry inside, still laughed heartily and said, "Ha ha ha. Young Master Xinlang is right. I am not suitable. It is better for Governor Liang to be the commander-in-chief." Xinlang thought, these two criminals have made a deal with each other. As long as they get the position of commander-in-chief and destroy Sunan, they will be the ones who made the contribution. Like that, the king will not be able to punish the two of them. That's why Chengde must get this position of commander-in-chief. But if he can't, it's also okay for Liang Yongnian to do it, because Liang Yongnian is even more deserving of punishment. Xinlang said, "I think Lord Liang Yongnian is also not suitable." Liang Yongnian said uncomfortably, "Lord Zhang Sung fought this battle very well. Even if his official rank is a bit low, it's not impossible for him to be commander-in-chief. However, Zhang Sung is ill and needs time to rest." Suddenly, Xinlang stepped forward boldly and said, "I nominate myself. It is most appropriate for me to be the commander-in-chief." Hiki. As soon as these words were spoken, Zhang Sung was so shocked he felt like he spat out several liters of blood. Xinlang saw this and was bewildered, but still forced a smile, thinking, "Lord Zhang, we are on the same side. Do you think it's reasonable for you to disrupt things like this?" Continuing the previous episode, after waking up, Zhang Sung asked what Xinlang planned to do next. The young man replied that he would destroy the crown prince and the three princes. Zhang Sung, being part of the crown prince's faction, was quite shocked. He tried to dissuade him. However, The crown prince had sent people to assassinate Jin Shua, and he also coveted Jin Mulan, so he could not be allowed to live. Suddenly, the middle governor of Tianchi province, Liang Yongnian, came to visit Zhang Sung. Next, Chengde also rushed with troops to provide assistance. These two scoundrels only came here to seize the position of commander, to lead the army attacking the Su clan and claim credit. Xinlang knew the overall intentions of these two fellows, so the young man impudently nominated himself as the new commander. Liang Yongnian was extremely bitter seeing Xinlang's arrogant demeanor, thinking, how has this son-in-law Xinlang survived until now? In officialdom, how can you be so disrespectful? And you even nominated yourself? Xinlang, how old are you? What rank are you? What official position do you hold? Xinlang remained bold and confident, saying, why? Can't I be the commander-in-chief? Chengde and Liang Yongnian looked at each other blankly, thinking, commander? Commander of what? This fellow is power-crazed. Then Chengde spoke up, Prefect Zhang Sung, what do you think? There are 4 people here now. As long as more than half agree, the commander-in-chief can be decided. Then there's no need for this son-in-law to cause trouble. Zhang Sung shook his head and sighed, then he smiled faintly, thinking, my 2 reputations on the political stage, Zhang Sung's, are going to be ruined here. After thinking, he said, then I support young Master Shin as commander-in-chief. The 2 others were utterly shocked upon hearing this, thinking, do you still need face? Zhang Sung, you have always been serious and cautious. How could you say something so preposterous? Aren't you afraid of it becoming a joke when it spreads outside? What do you mean? Is harmony not good? Is making contributions together not good? Do you have to force Chengde, Liang Yongnian, and meet our deaths? I disagree. Immediately after, Liang Yongnian stood up and said, Prefect Zhang Sung, could it be that you treat a major matter like suppressing Su Nan's rebellion as a joke? I nominate Earl Chengde to be the commander-in-chief of the coalition, to lead the coalition to destroy Su Nan. Chengde followed, saying, in that case, I also nominate myself as commander-in-chief. The king's intention is very clear. The White Knight battlefield is under my command. Zhang Sung agreed. Liang Yongnian cupped his hands and said, there are 4 of us. 2 people nominated Earl Chengde as commander-in-chief. The 2 of us have higher authority. Let's decide it this way. From now on, the task of destroying Su Nan will be commanded by Earl Chengde. Zhang Sung also thought helplessly, young Master Shin, they are brazenly seizing power. I have no recourse. As soon as he appointed himself commander, Chengde loudly said, state affairs are important, so I will not yield any longer. Xinlang, city lord of Jinyuan, listen to my order. I command you to lead the vanguard and immediately set out to campaign against the Jinyuan Marquisate. But unexpectedly, Xinlang sat down and cheekily lifted his face, replying, I'm not going. Doesn't that look like he's asking for a beating? I have to admit, for Xinlang to have survived until now, it must be the fortune accumulated over tens of thousands of lifetimes. Haha. Chengde was utterly enraged and bellowed, Xinlang. Military orders are like a mountain. Do you think I wouldn't dare kill you? Killing you in front of the army wouldn't be in vain. Xinlang thought, this Chengde is the father of Qing Hongstian. He also has some connection to the Marquis of Xuanwu's estate. Originally, I planned to make use of him, but now, if you've uttered the 2 words, kill me, then there will be no peace until one of us is dead. Stop it, Xinlang quickly explained. Commander, I don't even have half a soldier in my hands. How can I lead the vanguard? Chengde asked, your 10,000-strong army? Is that not an army? Xinlang replied, oh dear. That's the army of Jiang Qingalu Nana. I can't command them. Why don't you, Earl Chengde, try? Chengde said unhappily, what about the 200 people next to you? 200 people are also troops and can act as the vanguard. Xinlang thought, 200 people as vanguard? You want me to die? Then the young man said, sorry. Those 200 aren't mine either. They are Princess Ningyan's guards. I can't command them either. As a city lord, I only have the title. I have no troops beside me. Moreover, I am also very ill. Extremely seriously ill. Then the young man turned and laughed wickedly. Oh, right, Lord Liang Yongnian, what illness do you have? Can I catch it too? Upon hearing this, Liang Yongnian was so angry he trembled and exclaimed, Xinlang, you Chengde laughed heartily and said, ha ha ha, Lord Liang, do you see? He is afraid we will compete for credit. He is afraid we will compete for the great achievement of destroying Su Nan. This is discarding the nation's important matters for personal gain. The rebel Su Nan hasn't even been captured yet. and they are already infighting to seize power and profit. What a joke. Yang Yongnian smiled slyly and said, "Isn't that right? Truly, the great world is full of wonders. He's just a minor official of the 6th rank, yet he dares to pressure 2 earls, 2 high officials of our court." Cheng De pointed directly at Shenlang and said, "Shenlang, don't think that just because you have some small contribution, you can be so arrogant. Do you really think that the task of destroying Sunan cannot be done without you? How ridiculous. Lord Yang Yongnian, let us go and destroy Sunan." Yang Zhongnian continued, "We must let His Majesty know who is truly loyal to the state's affairs and who is a corrupt official greedy for power, treating state matters as a joke. Shenlang, just you wait. If you're ill, then rest. The next great battle doesn't need your involvement. You don't need to be the city lord of Jinyuan anymore either." However, Shenlang still tilted his face up and replied, "Oh, okay." Immediately after, Chengde and Liang Yongyan left in anger. Zhang Sung smiled and said, "Look at these 2 interesting people." Shenlang said, "If someone were watching from outside, they might think I am shamelessly boundless. But in officialdom, if you're not shameless, you can't survive." Zhang Sung pondered for a while and then said, "These 2 probably have other intentions." Shenlang turned inside and said, "Destroying Sunan, they'll seize the Jinyuan Marquisate themselves, threatening the king. Once Sunan is destroyed, they will be able to occupy the sturdy fortress at the Jinyuan Marquisate and maintain a state of vague separation. At that time, Wu State and Chu State, seeing that our Yu State hasn't resolved its internal unrest, will still take action. Chengde will be rescued from his predicament and might even rise up to replace the Su clan." Zhang Sung said, "Fortunately, young Master Shin was decisive with them. Otherwise, with our small amount of troops, we might have been harmed by them." Shenlang smiled faintly and said, "These 2 lunatics will surely quickly attack the Jinyuan Marquisate. We'll just sit and watch the show, or we'll deal with it slowly after. I'm still worried that this turtle shell of the Jinyuan Marquisate won't be easy to handle." After leaving White Knight Commandery City, Chengde led all the soldiers at White Knight Pass. All 20,000 people, not a single one missing. At the same time, Yang Yongnian added his 5,000 men. 25,000 soldiers quickly marched south, heading straight for the Jinyuan Marquisate. A few days earlier, at the Jinyuan Marquisate, after the 10,000 Jiang State cavalry entered Tianchi province, Sunan received the first report that Jiang King Alu Tai was still surrounding and capturing Shenlang and Alu Nana at the Great Tribulation Monastery. He sent Great General Shu Bodai to lead 10,000 troops into Tianchi province to rendezvous with the Su clan. Upon receiving that news, Sunan was overjoyed and thought, "Great. The current pressure on the Su clan has also decreased. But this fellow Alu Tai regards military power as his life. He didn't split his troops before, so why split them now at the most crucial time? How come nobody from the Su clan reported such a big matter?" 2 days later, he received a report from the border guard commander at Great Snow Mountain that there had been a landslide. Sunan was terrified and thought, the earthquake happened before Alu Tai divided his troops? Why wasn't there any news before? Something is wrong. Then he ordered, "Go quickly. Pass on my order. Block the path of the cavalry led by Shu Bodai." Firstly, Sunan didn't sleep all night. He waited anxiously, his heart filled with terror, but also with immense anticipation, thinking, "I hope it's just fearing shadows." But life is not a dream. Surong hurriedly ran in and reported, "Urgent report. Urgent report. There's a change in Jiang King. Alu Nana has become Jiang King. The 10,000 cavalry that entered Tianchi province are enemies. They were led by Shenlang. We were originally on the verge of taking White Knight Commandery City, but as a result, this 10,000-strong army attacked from behind, causing most of the Su clan's main forces to be annihilated. Commander Su Qian also committed suicide. We have lost the White Knight Commandery battlefield." Sunan was struck by lightning upon hearing this. He couldn't believe what he heard and thought, What? Immediately after, probably due to the shock, Sunan coughed up a lot of blood. Vomiting blood from anger is real. And then, Sunan fainted and collapsed onto the floor. More than half an hour later, Sunan slowly woke up, but found that everyone by the bed was a member of the Su clan, looking terrified. Sunan was the god of the Su clan, and now this god, who had fought his way out of the capital of Yu State, causing turmoil in Yu State, had fallen again. They cried and wailed, seeing their patriarch fallen. Sob, sob, where should we go? Where can we go? Sunan sprang up, yelling loudly, "I'm not dead yet. Why are you crying?" The others were overjoyed and thought, the patriarch is awake. In the past, the patriarch has led the Su clan through so many crises. This time will surely be the same. Sunan ordered, "Everyone, go outside. No one can destroy my Su clan. Do what you need to do. You too, follow me into the study." The scene shifts to the study a moment later. Sunan asked, "What's the situation with Jiang State?" Su Qian replied, "There is still no information, but someone saw Su Niao being captured." Sunan sighed and said, "Alu Tai is probably dead, killed by Shenlang. What about the earthquake at Great Snow Mountain?" Su Rong replied, "It was an avalanche. The snow mountain in a large area collapsed. The Jiang King's army, several tens of thousands strong, were probably all buried in the snow." Sunan was utterly terrified, thinking, a landslide? How could Shenlang do that? He could even exploit nature. Now Alu Nana has become Jiang King, and even a fierce general like Shu Bodai has surrendered to her. Now, even the Jiang State army, which was friendly to the Su clan, is gone. The main force of the Su clan is also gone. Continuing the previous episode, Shenlang demanded to be the commander-in-chief himself, but Liang Yongyan and Chengde firmly opposed him. Although he was supported by Zhang Sung, Chengde was still determined to accept the position of commander-in-chief. He even ordered Shenlang to lead the vanguard to attack the Su clan, but there was no way Shenlang would agree to be led by him. Sunan finally received the news from the battlefield. As soon as he finished reading, he was so shocked he vomited blood. Although that was the case, he still reassured his clan members in various ways, but in his heart, he had already collapsed. It was all because of that scoundrel Shenlang. Sunan spoke up and asked, "How many people do we have left?" Su Rong quickly replied, "Around 5,000. As soon as he heard this, Sunan clutched his chest in pain, his face filled with extreme anger, thinking, 5,000? Only 5,000 left. At the time when the Su clan was at its peak, adding mercenaries and the aid from the Great Tribulation Monastery, there were over 40,000 troops. In just half a month, the speed from heaven to hell is truly fast. His ambition of becoming a hegemonic power is now shattered." Seeing this, the subordinates wanted to help Su Nan up, but he waved his hand, assuring them he was fine. Then he said, "If it weren't for Shenlang, our great army would have swept across Tianxi province long ago, and Su and Jiang would have merged long ago. Why? Why did we have to provoke this jinx? Yes, it's because of that secret letter." At that time, Su Nan received a secret letter. The letter said the Jin clan did not destroy Su Jian's letter. The Jin clan intended to cover for the Su clan. Su Nan originally didn't believe it, but the secret letter completely matched what Su Jian had written. At that time, the Su clan was not yet fully prepared. Once the matter of that year was revealed, the Su clan would face disaster. Therefore, Su Nan decided to strike first. He pondered, "That's right, the Hidden Origin Society. Why did the Hidden Origin Society know the contents of the letter? Now, there's no more time to think about these things. How do we overcome the current crisis? Looking at it from any angle, there's only the path of death, the dead end for the Su clan." Su Rong cupped his hands and spoke up. "Patriarch, our city has been built for hundreds of years, nourished by the mist on the high mountains, extremely solid. Furthermore, there is only one path into the city. The city is surrounded by high mountains on all four sides and cannot be attacked from there. We do not lack fresh water or food in our city. We can hold out for several years without issue. Although we have only 5,000 troops, defending for several years is more than enough. One man can hold off 10,000. Even if several tens of thousands of enemies come, they will not be able to attack our city. But what if the enemy just surrounds us and doesn't attack? Ning Yuanxian has ordered his great army to sweep across all our Su clan territories, occupying White Knight Commandery. With no food and no taxes, my Su clan will lose its roots. What good is it to hold on to the city then? When the advantage is ours, the sturdiness of the city makes us like tigers with wings. But when the advantage is not ours, no matter how sturdy the city is, it is useless. There is no city in this world that cannot be breached. The city of Chotianwei was also very sturdy, but didn't it still fall? But when the advantage is not ours, no matter how sturdy it is, it's useless. We abandon the city, retreat in the shortest time possible, and entirely leave Yu State, passing through Jiang State and entering the western regions." Su Quan knelt down and said, "Patriarch, the city is sturdy. Let your servants defend it. It absolutely cannot be lost. This is the foundation of our Su clan for 100 years. Su Qian also added, Elder brother, if we rely on the city, we can hold out for a few more years. Moreover, leaving our homeland to go to the western regions, I fear, means 9 deaths out of 10. Su Nan sighed and said, we cannot hold it. Once we are trapped inside the city, all our territory will be lost, and you will also be scattered. At that time, the city will collapse without needing to be attacked. All cities are ultimately breached from within. This city cannot hold out for several years, not even half a year. Even if there is enough food to eat for 2 to 3 years, human hearts are weak and cannot persevere for half a year. Chu state is like us. The Su clan would easily be integrated. Su Nan might be granted a marquisate, but then he would continue to face attacks from the Chu king. The Su clan will be completely annihilated. But the western regions are different. That place is chaotic, but it's a chaotic world very suitable for our survival. Moreover, the people there are of different races. My Su clan will definitely be ostracized when we go there. But precisely because of this, the soldiers of the Su clan can stand firmly by my side and cannot be bribed, because other races are suspicious of them. Su Quan said, Patriarch, after we go to the western regions, will we return later? Su Nan immediately gritted his teeth, eyes wide, and said loudly, Return? Of course, we must return. At most, within 15 years, we will fight our way back here. Because by then, Yu State will definitely be in great chaos. Ning Yuanxian likes to play with fire the most. It might just backfire on him. And the 3 princes and the crown prince are competing for the succession. The tense military situation in Nano Yu State is also not easy to deal with. Yu State will not be peaceful for long. Su Quan said loudly, Patriarch, Yu State is very chaotic now. The Wuiwe border region has 200,000 troops stationed below. Chu State is also fighting the Chong clan in the west. We can completely seize this opportunity to survive. Su Nan replied, Wu State and Chu State are just taking advantage of the fire to loot. And once my Su clan stops, will they continue their act? Even when the enemy doesn't react. Leave the city immediately and pack your bags. Except for the direct descendants who are children. The elderly women are not to be taken. Remember, this must be kept private. You two go out as usual. Leave in the morning without hesitation. Both Su Quan and Su Rong thought. This means leaving the elderly women to wait for death in the castle. Even so, the 2 of them still took orders. Su Nan sat down and sighed. There isn't much time left for us. If I guess correctly, Cheng De and Liang Yongyan are in a hurry to drop stones into the well and lead their army here. They will kill Shenlang and me and then wait for us to exhaust each other to be the profitable fishermen. Shenlang, you must be very happy now, so feel free to do as you wish. That way, I can escape when you let your guard down. If we are prepared, is there still hope? Zhang State had planted many beans. Of course, the Su clan immediately imitated them, aiming for complete prevention of smallpox and not being threatened by it. Su Nan immediately thought about poisoning. He sent people to gather a large number of sick people, collecting their blood and skin tissues. But he didn't expect that if he couldn't use it, his army would already be defeated. There are many such agents. If you do that, put it in the water, pour it into the food. Han Yi, Cheng De, Liang Yongyan. If the poisonous agents are useless against Shenlang, then use them on your army. The next morning, the remaining 5,000 members of the Su clan left the capital city. Although Su Quan didn't say it explicitly, within the clan, there was instant chaos. They were buzzing about. We only have 5,000 people left. Now they're gone. Who will protect the city? That's right. You can't let them leave. Don't they want to escape? The Patriarch is still on the tower. They wondered, how could the Patriarch abandon us? However, 2 hours later, Su Nan quietly left the fortress and followed the 5,000 soldiers. All the direct descendants of the Su clan. All the soldiers quickly fled, running towards the western regions. Those who remained in the city were abandoned. It seems Su Nan predicted correctly. Shenlang was momentarily distracted and missed the opportunity. Then the scene moves to White Knight Commandery. Shenlang just walked around, laughing. Next, Cheng De and Liang Yongyan will go crazy and attack the city. We just need to watch the fight, waiting until they're all exhausted. Right after that, Shenlang entered Zhang Sung's room happily, saying with delight, Master Zhang, Why did you call me to play chess today? Your weak health won't allow you to defeat me, he said softly to Shunlang. Then the two of them sat down in front of the chessboard. Zhang Sung made a move and said, Young Master Shun. When he let go of Jinshan Island and Wanyai Island, he was very decisive. Do you think that was the act of a warrior cutting off his limb to survive? Shunlang laughed and replied, No. To earn the wrath of the court, everything is worth it. If we don't overcome the danger of the new policies, what use is it for the Jin clan to have Jinshan Island? We might as well withdraw from the game. We can completely escape the new order. Speaking of this, suddenly, Shunlang became extremely panicked. His eyes widened as if thinking, something has come up. He hurriedly got up and ran outside, thinking, something is wrong. Sunan wants to run. Zhang Sung said, Young Master Shun, you take 2 steps and anticipate 3 steps. Surely you will have a way to deal with it. Shunlang thought in bewilderment. Master Zhang is reminding me to act carefully. I must have a countermeasure prepared first. I have to carefully calculate every step. If I were that old fellow Sunan, what would I do? And then, like singing, Shunlang thought, my marquise is very strong. Even if the enemy has 30,000 people, it is useless. But once the city loses its territory, losing White Knight Commandery, the Jinyuan marquise is just a fancy prison. If I were Sunan, I would run. Sunan's weakness is greed. When he has a good hand, he will be greedy for it. He wants to hit 3 targets with 1 arrow. If there are no cards in his hand, he will be very decisive. It's like when he fought his way out of the capital, causing the nation to undergo a landslide. So he will run. He won't rely on Chu State, but will go to the western regions to develop his future plans for a comeback. He's crazy. If Master Zhang hadn't reminded me, I would have almost made a big mistake. I almost lost my chance. My mistake is being too greedy. I wanted to take advantage of Chengda and Sun in fighting each other to reap benefits. How is that any different from Sunan? He wants to hit 3 targets with 1 arrow. Shunlang cupped his hands and said, Thank you, Lord Zhang, for the reminder. Then, reporting for duty, he let 1,000 horsemen out. He just felt a sharp pang. I must not let that old fellow escape. I cannot let the Su clan get away with it. The scene moves to Inner Court City. There had been continuous fighting in the city for days and nights. Wu Mu had 30,000 soldiers, 6 times the size of the Jin clan's forces, and many generals under him, more than enough to defeat the Jin clan. But despite frantically attacking for days and nights, they were still unable to capture Inner Court City. Wu Mu even ordered the great army of Chiao to cross the moat, land, and attack the city. The total number of encircling troops reached 35,000. After losing 70,000 men, cumulative losses, they still couldn't take the city. Wu Mu's expression was unpleasant. He thought, this fortress is as hard as a turtle's shell. It's too difficult to break. The Jin clan might have suffered 2,000 casualties. Wu State needs to constantly attack frantically to wear down the city. They will definitely suffer. He was paying attention to Jin Shuriying, who was standing on the bridge, but he thought about Jean Mulan's capability. A woman has been in charge until now. She hasn't seemed to sleep for 5 days and 5 nights, from beginning to end on the battlefield. Wu Mu thought, I thought you still wouldn't make a move, Jean Shuriying. He tricked me. No, he didn't have a chance, Wu Mu said. Because Jean Mulan hasn't rested. From beginning to end, she is in command. He is her top general. Jean Shuriying always has to be with her. There's no chance for him to act. If he were to open the gate directly, on the contrary, we would have doubts. But now I think he has really betrayed me. Next, we just need to keep attacking, giving him an opportunity. As long as Mulan can't hold on, Jean Shuriying will take command. Then the opportunity will come. I thought he would definitely do it. Even if it's not for me, it will be for the child in your belly. Continuing the previous episode, Su Nan received the news that Su Qian's army, which had marched out to fight, was destroyed. It was painful, more painful than. His whole plan was ruined. Even though his subordinates advised him to stay in the city, he knew that wasn't a good approach. He ordered the entire army to flee to the western regions, waiting for the right time to rise again. Meanwhile, Shunlang was still happy with his plan. But Zhang Sung said a few words that woke him up. Shunlang immediately led 1,000 soldiers in pursuit to eliminate the Su clan root and branch. Wu Mu tried very hard to attack, but on the Jin side, Jean Mulan was in command, and they couldn't break through. All their hopes were placed on Jin Shiying, the man who was seduced by Wu Yu and betrayed the Jin clan. Next, Wu Mu's army attacked even more fiercely, day and night, without stopping. Despite the casualties, the attack lasted for 2 days and 2 nights. Wu Mu's army had almost reached its limit. Inside the city, the Jin clan's army was exhausted to the breaking point. They could collapse at any moment. On the night of the 8th day, Wu Mu suddenly announced, temporarily stop fighting to rest, and ordered to collect troops. Both sides, inside and outside the city, were exhausted. The Jin clan soldiers could barely hold their weapons. Mulan was still not reassured. She stood on the wall for 2 hours. She was probably exhausted too. Mulan immediately said, Elder brother Shiying, let me go and sleep for a while. Jin Shiying clasped his hands firmly and said, rest assured, I have everything covered. Moving the scene to the Wu army camp. A soldier ran to the general. Mulan has left the wall. Jin Shiying is now in command of the city defense. Wu Mu was quite surprised. I know, he said. Then he sat down, laughing and thinking. The city's defenses have fallen into the hands of Jin Shiying. We have 6,000 fresh soldiers left. Now is the time to bring them into the battle. And Wu Yu said happily, Commander, this time, Jin Shiying, don't worry, his reward will not be lacking. Suddenly a soldier ran to Wu Mu. They want to close the gates. Wu Mu thought, should we commit the 6,000 fresh Wu soldiers inside? Or continue bringing troops in? If we continue bringing in the troops who have been fighting for days and nights, it might go wrong. Lian Zhan and Tan Xiong, you two lead 4,000 men into the city to reinforce Wu Mu. Within half an hour, you must occupy the entire city and wipe out the Jin clan army. And then Wu Mu laughed at the thought. With 5,000 fresh troops, we'll fight their 2,000 to 3,000 remnants. We have a tenfold advantage. Next, the administration of Liuzhou Islands. He didn't let you down, Jin Shiying. Changing the scene inside the city. Jin Mulan shouted. Traitors, opened the door. A few troops remained on the wall. The rest were concentrated to enter the central defense hall. According to Jin Mulan's command, the entire army in the city retreated to the central defense hall. 10,000 Wu troops, led by Jin Shiying, then faced Jin Mulan at the training ground outside the hall. Jin Shiying spoke up. General Wu Mu, cross this training ground. This is the central hall. Just take that place, capture Jin Mulan, and the rest of the army will surrender. The civil war will end. General Wu Mu immediately opened his mouth, shouting, gather the teams. Assemble the teams. As soon as he finished, the Wu state army assembled into several teams and surrounded Jin Mulan. General Wu Mu spoke loudly. Lady Mulan, you are surrounded. Yi Feng has decided to surrender early. Jin Mulan's eyes were full of determination. She said loudly, you have become a man who loses his seat. Wu Mu laughed and thought, she wants to die? Then so be it. Then Jin Shiying shouted, don't kill. Suddenly, he stood up and finished speaking. General Wu Mu, let me go in to persuade her. I'll go in alone. Wu Mu said, your brother's advice. Be careful not to be cut to pieces. Jin Shiying said, I can't just stand by and watch the Jin family perish. Wu Mu laughed. Jin Shiying, you really just became like a woman. You even asked to raise a flag of virginity. He had already betrayed, yet he wanted to appear loyal to his former master. He just wants wealth and power, yet he wants to keep up that ridiculous, weak pretense of morality. If you want to die, go ahead, but don't hinder me. Wu Mu said, so you've decided now. Then go ahead. Don't blame me if you die in there. Jin Shiying nodded and hurriedly rushed towards Jin Mulan. He walked towards her, holding up both hands, and said, Lady Mulan, I am Jin Shiying. I've come alone to negotiate. Lady Mulan, in this battle, we have no hope. Please surrender. Preserve some vitality for the Jin clan so that the rest of the army can return to the territory. Wu Mu laughed and thought, you can laugh and dream. Mulan will be captured and presented to Crown Prince Ning Yi of Yu State. The remaining troops will either be captured or killed. Absolutely cannot return. They all must die. The enraged Jin clan soldiers said. The traitor who dared to return wants to die. Jin Shiying said, I came alone. Kill or cut as you wish. But every word I say comes from the heart. The Jin family has no chance. Please surrender. Mulan turned away. You've come to the wrong person. Seize this traitor. Soon after, Jin Shuriying was captured by the soldiers, tied up by the neck, and brought inside. In the distance, General Wumu laughed with pleasure, saying, ha ha ha. Jean Mulan is funny. She's about to die without even knowing it. She wants to rely on this fragile door to stop my 10,000-strong army? It's a dream. Wumu counted down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you don't open the door and surrender, we will lead our troops in. Then you will all die. With that, the entire army sorted.